Welcome to On This Day, where we look back at the moments that made history, one day at a time. From major world events to the weird and unexpected, every date has a story. So, what happened on 4th of July? Let's find out. When people think of July 4th, fireworks, parades, and American independence usually take the spotlight. But this day has much more going on beneath the surface. Yes, it's iconic for U.S. history, but July 4th has also seen incredible scientific breakthroughs, global political milestones, and some uncanny historical coincidences. It's a day where liberty, legacy, and a few surprises all show up to celebrate. Let's begin in 1776, of course, when the Continental Congress officially adopted the Declaration of Independence in Philadelphia. It was signed by just a few delegates that day, but the statement itself had been approved. The 13 American colonies were declaring freedom from British rule. And with that, the United States was born, at least on paper. Exactly 50 years later, in 1826, something eerie happened. Two of America's founding fathers, and former presidents, Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, both died on the same day, within hours of each other, on the 50th anniversary of the Declaration they helped create. Talk about poetic timing. In 1863, the Civil War's Battle of Vicksburg came to an end. General Ulysses S. Grant accepted the Confederate surrender, giving the Union control of the Mississippi River. The fall of Vicksburg, just a day after Gettysburg, marked a major turning point in the war and brought new hope to the Union cause. Jump to 1881. When the Tuskegee Institute was founded in Alabama by Booker T. Washington. The school began with just a few students in a one-room building, but it grew into a nationally recognized institution for African American education and empowerment. Its legacy continues today. On July 4th, 1939, baseball legend Lou Gehrig stood before a packed Yankee Stadium and delivered one of the most emotional speeches in sports history. Diagnosed with ALS, he called himself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. That moment wasn't just about baseball. It was about courage, humility, and grace in the face of something devastating. In 1997, NASA's Pathfinder mission successfully landed on Mars. The little Sojourner rover rolled onto the Martian surface, sending back images and data that helped pave the way for future exploration. It was a red planet-sized leap for robotics and space science. Let's rewind to 1802 when the U.S. Military Academy at West Point officially opened. It was part of President Jefferson's plan to train a new generation of engineers and officers, and it's been producing military leaders ever since. Now here's a surprising twist. In 1934, Leo Szilard patented the idea of a nuclear chain reaction. That concept, on paper that day, would later lead to the development of the atomic bomb. What started as a theoretical invention would go on to change the course of global history within a decade. Love discovering what happened on this day in history? Hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. In 1976, the U.S. celebrated its bicentennial with a massive nationwide celebration. From New York Harbor to the National Mall in D.C., parades, fireworks, and patriotic concerts marked 200 years since independence. Even the Queen of England joined in, visiting America for the festivities. Also in 1976, the Israeli military carried out Operation Entebbe, a daring hostage rescue mission in Uganda. Israeli commandos stormed the airport where 100 hostages were being held and freed nearly all of them. The mission was risky, swift, and is still studied by military strategists today. Back in 1831, My Country 'Tis of Thee was performed publicly for the first time at a 4th of July celebration in Boston. The song would become one of America's most beloved patriotic anthems, even though it borrowed its melody from the British national anthem. Kind of ironic, right? In 1827, slavery was officially abolished in New York State. Thousands of people gathered in Manhattan to celebrate, including a procession led by free black citizens. It was a huge step forward, though full emancipation across the country would still take decades more. On a completely different note, July 4th, 1970, was the day Casey Kasem launched American Top 40 on radio stations across the U.S. The weekly countdown became a staple for music fans, showcasing chart toppers and introducing audiences to what would become classic hits. And finally, in 2012, physicists at CERN announced they had discovered a new particle consistent with the long-sought Higgs boson, often called the God particle. It was a huge moment in science, confirming a key part of the standard model of particle physics. And yes, it was announced on July 4th, on a day already known for Big Bangs. That's what happened on 4th of July throughout history. Made it this far? Drop your favorite historical fact in the comments. Learned something new? Hit subscribe and come back tomorrow. You never know what the past has in store.